and we will get going. I have not been on our Sunday lives this is for 2 weeks, so I missed the last two. So it feels like forever since I've done a Sunday live, but got to get back in the groove of things. So give me just a second to get set up, and then we will get going. That is the wrong button. Eventually I'll get it right. Hold on just a second. What happened to my... All right. We're up and good. All right, so I do have a couple announcements. Welcome everybody. We're glad you're all here. This is our Sunday night live. I've missed the last two due to being on vacation, but I am back. So we're going to get back on track now. We do a couple things here. Obviously, this is a live Q&A, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we will do our very best to help you on your Caternix quail journey. A couple other things that we do here is tonight is more of a community setting, so I go through all the comments, we kind of hang out, talk, so let us know where you're from. That's one thing that we do is if you want to let us know where you're from, it's kind of interesting to see where everybody's at in the quail world. And see kind of who's close to you and things like that. And then if you've hatched any eggs from us this week, feel free to share if you haven't already. I know a lot of people email myself or Jenna, or they text me or whatever. So if you've not given me those numbers, feel free to give me those. And I am out of the groove, aren't I? And then I do have a couple of announcements. And then Monday nights, we do a rapid fire Q&A. So I don't read all the comments, I just read the questions. So if you're kind of new and you don't really have the time or don't really want to hang out or whatever the case may be, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time I go live and we just go rapid fire Q&A. But tonight it's more of a get-together community kind of feel. So we have both of those options for you. We do have some things coming up. I will be on a separate YouTube channel next week. Tuesday maybe, I think. I need to get that organized. They are, I'm not. They're organized, I'm not. And then next week I will be on with Living Traditions Homestead, Whiskey Tango Farms as well. I do need to talk to Living Traditions, but and we will be going over Quail Con. If you don't know what Quail Con is, it is a convention that we're having here at Myshire Farm. It is hosted by Myshire Farm and Whiskey Tango Farms. And we will be having a 2-day event at September 3rd and 4th. If you want to know more, I'm going to be bringing out a bunch of information to you in the next week or two. But if you go to our website, myshirefarm.com, there's a tab that says Quail Con 2022, and that will give you a lot of information on it. But I did finalize everything on it. Finally, so we've got all the volunteers scheduled, we've got the vendors set up, we've got raffles scheduled, we've got the schedule for the speakers, we've got activities, we've got a bunch of really cool stuff. We've added a bunch of stuff this year, and a bunch of stuff since I talked about last time, so I'll be going over that in the next few weeks as well, so I'm very excited about that. We've got some really good topics, some really good speakers, and we're fixing some things that I wasn't too fond of last year. So I'm very excited about that. If you have any questions about Quail Con, feel free to ask tonight as well. And tonight is not the first Sunday of the month, but I was missing last week. So we're going to do the 18 and under contest real quick. If you don't know what that is, you can type in the search bar on YouTube, 18 and under contest by Myshire Farm, and it'll pop up for you. We did a little video. I will be redoing that as soon as I got the time. This week was all about catch up. I am fairly caught up now, so now we're back on track, so I'm very excited about that, because that was stressful. But we promote and encourage the next generation to get involved with self-sufficiency, entrepreneurship, learning responsibility, getting off their phone and being entertained and start working towards a goal, whatever that might be. and we give away an incubator thanks to all of you that donate. If you do want to donate, we are starting to take donations for next month's winner. The donations go towards an incubator for the 18 and under contest. And there is a $sign in the comments section that can go towards the 18 and under contest. But you guys donate for the incubator. And then I donate eggs and a candler. Ed Got Bait, which is a moderator on here, as well as Verna Young. But Ed Got Bait donates a pair of quail egg scissors. Whiskey Tango Farm donates a lot of heat lamp, a feeder, a water, a sticker, and an egg tray, egg holder thing. Living Traditions Homestead donates either oh look, I found money. Donates either a cup, coffee cup signed, or a t-shirt for the kids signed, which is kind of cool. Flew the Coop Farms donates 100 pounds worth of feed. Jesse Mills donates a Govee for the incubator. Dale's Quails donates a brooder, and Winola Ranch donates a cage. And then we've got Witch Doctor that is starting to donate one of these. I'll be doing a special video on it, but really it's like a wristband, but you tap it onto a phone, and it's like an electronic business card. The information goes straight to the phone. So it's a little high tech for me, but I think the kids will absolutely love it. So they get a lot of stuff to get started on quail, becoming self-sufficient, starting their own business, learning how everything works and raising their own food. I mean, it's a great cause. So that's what we're doing. In fact, I just saw a donation for $20 from Juanita Fields. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I got to take a drink. And then I'm going to announce the 18 under winner. I swear. Hold on just a second. I'm not used to talking that much now. I've been off for the past couple of weeks on YouTube. So this month's winner, they entered a while ago. In fact, I think this might be the third. I know for sure it's the second time they've entered. They haven't won yet. But I think it was the third, but I couldn't find the third one, but I thought for sure, so I don't know. But they've entered, they've stayed true, they've stayed consistent. I love looking at that, seeing kids just keep at it and keep at it. I think that's awesome. And then this month they did something a little bit different. They emailed again and re-entered, which is completely fine. But they started having friends, family, teachers, people with all kinds of people in their neighborhood and things like that start emailing me as well, recommending them. I thought that was very innovative, a very good idea, and I had I think about 11 emails for recommendations for them this month. It is a brother and sister, and it is I'm going to butcher one of the names. I was practicing before the live, but I didn't have much time, and I apologize. But Maverick and Malie Kupke is the winners for this month. So congratulations. Their goal is to raise quail for themselves and have eggs and meat for their family. They want to start a small entrepreneur business. They are young. They're preteens. And they want to start talking to the teachers in their school and start talking to their classmates and have them starting to raise quail and start getting their age group involved, and it was very inspirational. It was very cool. So congratulations. You'll just want to email me, or well, no, you won't. You want to text me. My phone number's on the website, myshirefarm.com at the bottom. But text me your full address. I'll send that over to all of the people that are donating. So all of you that I mentioned earlier, thank you very, very much for doing this. And we will get you taken care of. So that is the 18 under contest. Again, if you want to know more, we do have a specific video on that. I have a ton of Quail Con stuff that I just have to sit down and do the videos on. And we have some experts coming. So we've got a bee expert, we've got a feed expert, we've got a marketing expert for Quail for Profit. And I will be doing spotlight videos in the next couple of weeks with them, so that you can kind of see what you're looking forward to and things like that. So I'm very excited about that this year, and I don't want to give any more away unless there's a specific question, but obviously we've been working on this for quite some time now. And Verna, thank you very much for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. I did see it. Kind of lost to my own train of thought right now, but thank you very much. But we've been working on it for months and months and months, and I just had to finalize everything, and I really didn't want to finalize it until we got a little bit closer. So my goal was to just work on it a little bit here and there until June 1st. And then Jen and I sat down for about 6 hours and we planned everything out. And then we called all the speakers and finalized all that. Then we called Whiskey Tango Farms, talked to them about everything for about an hour and a half. And now I am starting to pay for everything and reserving everything and locking in the speakers and all this stuff. And we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming your way. Jen and I and Whiskey Tango Farm came up with some really, really cool ideas. So we're going to get the kids involved this year. They've got some stuff, not just playing on the farm, but some cool learning stuff and a lot more. So I'm very excited about that. I think I have bored you enough. We'll get into the comments and questions. Again, this is a live Q&A, so if you have any questions about Coturnix quail, raising, breeding, color, production, issues, hatching, whatever, feel free to ask. If you've got any questions about Quail Con, feel free to ask, and we'll get going here. Throat's not doing great today. And again, if you want to donate to that 18 under contest, it's just the $ in the bottom where the comment section is, and it's either a super sticker or super chat, and that money goes straight to an incubator for next month. And if you can, support the channel, and this is free, just hitting the like button, supporting the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. But let's get right into it. Obviously, Ed Bait is in the house. Ed Bait and Verna Young are our moderators on here. They're also leaders in the community as well as on Facebook. They're admins and big helps on Facebook as well. So thank you very much for all you do. And we have a lot of helpers on Facebook tonight, like Katrina's on here. She's an admin for Newbie is what you are. Newbie Quail Lovers is a Facebook group that we started, and she's an admin on there. But Katrina says hi to everyone from Gilroy, California. I'm at a soccer game, so we will check in later. We had 106 degrees on Friday. Quail did great. They dug down in the wood chips in the aviary and hung out. There you go. Very cool. Good luck on the game. S.O. Swanson says hello, Ed and Cuz. I started picking my necessities for Quail Con. I'm not anxious at all. There you go. It's not too far away. David Lister says, heat wave, what is the best way to care for our birds in the extremely warm weather other than keeping the water jar full? Just make sure that they have shade. If it gets super hot, like 110 plus, you could take a couple frozen water bottles. You know, I mean, the way we used to do it is we had 4 water bottles. 2 would be in the freezer, 2 would be in the cage, and then when we fed, because we feed twice a day, we would take the other 2 water bottles out, and then they would just kind of lean up against it and kind of, you know, things like that. But as long as there's shade, make sure that there's 3 quail per square foot. They're not over wow, it's going to be a rough night, everybody. They're not crowded. That's really all you need to do. Other than that, they do pretty well. Let's see. Andrea says, hi all, 100 degrees here in OKC. Fun. Right? Readying the quail and us for the move to North Carolina in a week or 2. Well, congratulations and good luck on the move. Happy Hillbilly says, happy here. Hi, y'all. Hi, Verna. Hi, I owed you one from last week. There you go. Yeah, we're less than 100 days away from Quail Con. That's for sure. Let's see. Graham Fam OK is in the house. Greetings, Quail folk. Welcome. Glad you're here. I'm assuming Oklahoma, but maybe not. Trista Morrison is in the house from New Hampshire. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Kalini says, excited for Quail Con, everyone. I am. Once I finalized everything and I've wrapped my head around the 2 full days and what everybody's doing and what I'm doing and things like that, I actually am a lot more excited than I am overwhelmed. So I'm glad that we got a hold on that. and I really can't wait to like. It's really hard for me not to share with you right now, but I'm going to wait. S.O. Swanson just donated $25 for the 18 and under contest for my future, the kids. Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate the donation. Let's see. S.O. Swanson's in the house, obviously, from Mississippi Delta. Welcome. Happy Hillbilly says, is it normal for a hen that has been laying for, say, 6 months to lay a real rubbery egg? If it's a one-day deal, I mean, that would be fine. If it happens for about 3 or 4 days in a row, it's probably because they're losing steam, pretty much. And they're going to need more calcium than when they did when they were younger. But sometimes it just happens, especially with weather changes and it getting real hot. I would throw some electrolytes in the water for about 2 or 3 days, and they should overcome it and be completely fine. Let's see. Kalini from Tennessee, welcome. Glad you're here. S.O. Swanson says, calcium is not typically the problem unless it continues for multiple days in a row. You got it. Joy's in the house from Western Oregon. Welcome. Glad you're here. Dina is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Dandelion Haven is in the house. Love the name. Welcome. Glad you're here. By the way, I did not mention this. So this is more of a community setting. So I get a little behind on the comments and questions. So if you're in a hurry or you need to know, usually there's a few people in here that will respond to your question in the comment section underneath yours before I even get to it. So you can check those out as well. Just a thought. But I will get to it, I promise. Jesse Mills is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Michael's in the house from Maryland. Welcome. Bags of Love's in the house from North Carolina. Glad you're here. Yeah, I don't really think it's a feed issue, Happy Hillbilly. I think it's more of just it was an off day. Unless it's happened in multiple days, but I think it was an off day. Gerald's in the house from Tennessee. Welcome. Lee's Quails is in the house from Oklahoma. Welcome. Angelo's in the house from Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Juanita Fields is in the house. June 21st. That is correct. Yes. I think it's next Tuesday. La Rochelle Farms in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Amanda's in the house from Missouri. Welcome. Hey, God Bates says, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Absolutely. If you'd be so kind, I'd greatly appreciate it. Our goal tonight is 170. So we'll see if I get it. I've been off for a couple weeks, so we'll see. But support the channel by hitting the like button. Dr. Connie's in the house from Central Florida. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Sharon Upshaw's in the house from Florida as well. Just hatched my own eggs from the quail I incubated from Myshire. Very cool. Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment and very rewarding. So pat yourself on the back. You're doing great. Congratulations. La Rochelle Farm says, Quail Con sounds interesting. What's that about? You know what it's about. I still think you should come. But let's see. Josh's Punk Rock Garden says, hey, from the Adiron Dax? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I hope everyone's well listening in while I finish the laundry and a few quail chores. There you go. Well, welcome. Jess Sabin, Iron Vale Homestead says hello from Colorado. Have my first batch of my own jumbos in the incubator now. Myshire descendants. Very cool. Congratulations. Again, pat yourself on the back. That's a huge accomplishment. Linda is in the house. I made it. Welcome. Had to leave the garden. It is crazy hot out there. Hi, everyone. Texas in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. It's a little muggy for us here in Ohio, but it is going to be super hot. I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like heat index of 100 hot, which is kind of a bummer because we'll be working on a roof, but we'll do that in the morning. So it's going to be a long week, but it needs to be done. We are going to be butchering again this week. Last month we butchered, and we were supposed to do a video for you, except for my son took pictures instead. So we'll remedy that issue, and we'll butcher again Tuesday morning, and we will do the video. I'll probably do the video the first quail of the day. We kind of did it last quail of the day to get in the rhythm, but I'll probably just do the first one and get it out of the way. Dusty says, hello from Nebraska. I went catfishing last night, caught a 15-pound blue cat and a 12-pound flathead. Fun night with the kids. Very cool. Congratulations. Linda Easton Waller is in the house. Howdy, quail peeps. So glad to hear that your quail did okay in the heat. Absolutely. Linda says, hope everyone is having a great summer. It has been productive and good so far, so we just got to keep that rolling, right? Happy says, boy, we had the excitement this week. Not one, but 2 5 to 6 foot long snakes got into one of our cages. The first one killed 5 birds, and the second one got none. Their heads fell off. Yep, it's that time of year, that's for sure. Good luck, and I'm glad the second one wasn't as bad. Again, Juanita Fields donated $20 to the 18 and under contest for an incubator for him, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. That was very, very kind and generous for you. So thank you very much. Right underneath Juanita's donation, Ed Got Bait actually put the link to the 18 and under contest video about what they would win. It is not all in there because there have been more people contributing, but it's a gist, and then I'll be redoing that shortly. Lise Quail says, Zach, any good hotel recommendations for Quail Con? I think people stayed at Days Inn last year and did fine there. There's a place called Austin Landing that's about 15 minutes away. That's kind of a newer development. There's some really nice hotels over there. Most people last year, a lot of people last year just went on like, oh crap, what was it? TripAdvisor.com? That's not it. I can't remember. But if you look up hotels near us, actually in the description of the Quail Con on our website, like where you buy tickets, it actually gives you our full address. So our zip code is 45342. So if you just type in hotels near 45342, there's a ton within a 20-minute radius, and you can kind of see what's available and reviews and things like that. Michael's in the house from St. Louis. Welcome. Tim is in the house. Welcome. Jeff is in the house from Odessa, Texas, home of oil wells, windmills, and longhorn steers. Welcome. Glad you're here. Juanita says, when are the online auctions starting again? That is a great question. I actually have another announcement for you. So I'm going to write it down before I forget because I need to answer yours. Okay, so I will do the big announcement when we hit 80 likes. So hit the like button, support the channel. But to answer your question, we're getting close. So I was actually, I think it was 16,000 balutes behind. And they've been waiting for about 5 months because I put them on hold. So they were kind enough to wait. So I'm getting caught up with those. So for example, like our feather sexibles, rosettas, Tibetans, mixes, growls, growl tucks, sparkly. Hold on, I gotta do it again. There's mixes, rare mixes, feather sexible. What's on the other side of that? Egyptian fee. Pearl. Pansy fee. Those are not on. German pastels. Rosetta Tibetan Scarlet. The BTAs, all the tuxedos, the growls, and the sparklies are all like shipping within a week now. But I'm not changing that on the website yet because I'm using all the ones we don't sell to get these balutes in. But I only have 2,000 balutes left to put in. So, well, actually less than that because I'm putting in 1,500 tomorrow. Oh no, that counts that. So by the end of this week, I'll be done with that, which means I can start auctions again as soon as I get caught up with the balloons. And then we're back on track with the corporate accounts. All the balloons are in. They're all satisfied and caught up. So that's all done. But do we have enough yet? We do. Great. So next week I technically could start auctions again. However, I've changed that because we just got confirmation. Well, we got confirmation a week and a half ago, but I haven't been on. We got confirmation that 8/1, August 1st, is when we're going to start shipping live quail again. We are good to go on all of that. So we'll have the breeder sets, the teen sets, the male sets, all kinds of sets on the live quail. So I have to start putting those in. So I'm actually going to put in a massive hatch that second week because I have a feeling that once we put them on, a lot of people are going to buy, which is fine. I just want to be prepared. So the plan is balutes all go in next week. The week after that, we put in a crap ton for live quail. And then the third week, so what, last week of June, I do believe, we start the auctions back up in case, or unless something massive happens. But that's the plan. Anyways, that was a really long answer to your question. I apologize. Micah says, how often do you add genetics to your Jumbo Browns and where from? If you can answer, I ordered some from Myshire and want to be fresh with the JMF I have already. We do not add any new genetics from outside sources. We've got 6, 12, 18, 24 colony cages, and we have a specific breeding program where they're not intertwined together. So we don't bring in anything else. We've tried that 1, 2, 3, 4. We've tried that 4 separate times. And 1 out of the 4 times was the only time that we were happy with the results of what we hashed out from the outside source. And they unfortunately are no longer in business. And so we just, once that happened, we just decided like, hey, let's come up with this plan. So we've got a specific breeding program where they're not being interbred, but we're also very lucky that we have, how many? 6, 12, 8, 24 colony cages that fit 50 hens each that we can, mix and match and things like that. It's kind of annoying, but it works where we don't have to inbreed. The Rochelle Farm says, if you have a female or male die in a cage, do you just pop another one in? Or how do you handle that? Do you have a replacement cage that houses extra to put into cages that might happen too? It's a good question. So, yes, you want to replace that one. The only ones that we tag, little quail tags on their ankles or whatever, are the replacement ones. And we tag those. But yeah, once one dies for whatever reason, we do replace that one. Typically we do it 2 separate. Let me give you the non-jumbo way, because the jumbo way gets a little complicated. The non-jumbo way is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 cages of either feather sexable mixes or rare mixes, all in a cage. They're just jumbled up, have fun, hatches out a bunch of cool stuff, and that's what you get if you order feather sexable mix, variety choice, or rare mix, right? Well, if one dies out of said cage, let's say we have one fab fee that dies, right? Well, then we'll go find a fab fee hen out of the feather sexable mix, replace it with that one, so those are all caught up, and then we take 3 eggs from the fab fees and replace the mixed cage with that when we hatch it out, so that all of our colors are separated. So fab fees are with fab fees and nothing else. Pearls are with pearls and nothing else. Pansy fees are with pansy fees and nothing else, blah, blah. But then we have those mixed cages that I talked about. I'm okay lowering our numbers on the mixed cages because we can replenish those pretty quickly. I just don't want my numbers with the specific quail in it to go low. So that's how we replenish those. We don't do the same thing with jumbos because there's more of a there's much higher requirements to go into our jumbo cage. So in that case, if let's say we have a jumbo wild hen die, we'll take it out of the cage. We take 3 eggs automatically from that cage, put it into the incubator. I mean, we collect for a week. Put them into the incubator, hatch those out, and those replace the ones that die. But with the mixed colors, with all the colors, we have a replacement cage, which is dual purpose. I feel like I'm explaining a little too much. PJ's Family Farm says, howdy all, you beautiful quail people. I'm here in the Catskill Mountains of New York. Welcome, we're glad you're here. Verna, thank you very much for the $5 donation to the 18 and under contest. I appreciate that. Again, hit the like button, support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Chris from Idaho is in the house. Welcome. Nikki James is in the house from Central Missouri. Welcome. Glad you're here. Louis is in the house. Have you thought of making a do-it-yourself incubator that anyone can make to add to your incubator review list? Yes, but we've got a lot of projects. We're redoing the aviary. We did the emus. We're going to be building something else. So that we have the stuff to make an incubator and do a video where everybody can make one. We have the equipment to do all that. And we were hoping to do it over the winter, but we decided to redo all of our cages instead. So that's more of a fall-winter where we're not working outside as much. So it will come, but it's going to come later on in the year. Because we can't spend time. We don't need it. It would just be for a video for you guys, which is important. I'm not saying it's not, but I got to get farm duties done first. Boston Bruins is in the house. Can you mix regular Coturnix quail with jumbo Coturnix in the same pen? You can, absolutely. Typically, you actually, overall it kind of offsets, but when you put jumbos with standard size in the same cage, typically you'll lose, it's easier to lose weight on your jumbos than it is to gain weight on your mixes. So if you just want to keep them all together so that it's faster and easier and more economical for you, then that's fine, not a big deal, they'll do great. If you're trying to increase the size of your standards, then the best thing to do is just to use jumbo males, and that will help keep your jumbos jumbo size and keep and add to the standard size of what you already have. So I wouldn't recommend putting standard males in the cage unless you don't care about that. If that makes sense. Let's see. Little Ridge Farm says, hello, Zach. Can't wait to have your chat on the 21st. It is on the 21st. Thank you very much. It is Little Ridge Farm that I'll be on their YouTube channel, which I think is next Tuesday at hey, Little Ridge Farm, what time are we going to be on? 7:30? I think it's 7:30. I really can't remember. I'm so sorry. I wrote it down, but I don't have the right notebook in here because this is all Quail Con stuff. I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure next Tuesday's 21st. I just need the time. Michael says, has anyone ever done fried quail like fried chicken? We did, and it was awesome. It was very delicious. Actually, we did it a while ago, but George did it just a couple weeks ago, and he was very impressed with it. He didn't have any left over, but... KG Brown is in the house from Illinois. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, Southern Illinois. Tim Baldridge is in the house. I have 4-week-olds. I'm trying to separate by sex. Quail with red on chest, neck, and face are roos, correct? Yep, absolutely. Vicky's in the house. How do you tell if your quail are not well nourished? Mine don't eat the things in their very high quality feed, and I would like to know what to look for while butchering. That will tell me. Actually, you don't. I mean, you can look at the size of things and see if they're developing correctly, but if they're producing correctly and they're a decent size, then they're getting everything they need. So I would just weigh them before butcher if they're all males and just make sure they're a decent size. If they're not, then they're missing something. And if they are, then they just don't like certain things in the feed, which could be the case. We did just get another Josh's Punk Rock Garden donated $15 to the 18 and under contest. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Well, yeah. Let me go back. Tim, yes, as long as the quail are feather sexable colors, you are correct. If it's a non-feather sexable color like scarlet or Graufi or whatever, any tuxedos or whites, anything like that, then no. But anything that's feather sexable, you are correct. Kalini says, I'm new to this and I was wondering, is there only one winner? There is. We pick one winner. I should have said that as well. We pick one winner a month, and it's usually announced the first Sunday of every month. So we've been doing this, Lord, Wynola Ranch and myself started this 2.5, 3 years ago. Long time. And then we've gained a lot of momentum throughout the years. Yeah, we pick one winner a month. Because that's a lot of stuff. Zelda D and Z Crazy Farms in the house. Hello, I asked a week ago, can you sell live quail yet? Yes. We will start doing that on August 1st. And we will be putting in a ton, probably, I don't know, probably 12 to 1,400 eggs in 2 weeks. So if we put them in 2 weeks, that's 14, so that's, we'll say end of June, so mid-July, yeah, we'll be right where we need to be on August 1st. We'll be good to go. Whiskey Tango Farms in the house. Hello, Feather Fam from Central Wisconsin. Hope everyone is doing well. Can't wait to see you all at Quail Con. Don't forget your shirts and magnet. Absolutely. They're selling some merch for Quail Con on their website, which I believe is whiskeytangofarms.net. Michael says, what an awesome program for the kids that Myshire does, and with so many other folks contributing. Thank you all. Best quail page. Absolutely. Thank you very much. And yeah, they are very, very generous. In fact, when I came up with the idea, I came up with a rough draft of the idea, and then Jenna perfected the idea a long time ago. And then I said, well, we could do the eggs, but then what if they don't have anything to put them in? So then I contacted Wynola Ranch and I said, hey, would you be willing to do this? And without hesitation, like they didn't say, let me think about it, let me call you back, let me talk to them. They said, absolutely, great idea, let's do it. I said, great. We did that for a while, and then all of a sudden we had a ton of people reach out and say, I want to contribute too, I'll donate this and I'll donate that. And it's a great cause, and all of us are very proud to be a part of it. Braden is in the house. What is the best starter quail breed? They're pretty much all the same. It really doesn't matter. They're all pretty much the same. I mean, the standards, so pretty much all the fun colors are standard size, so they'll be about 9 to 9.5 ounces at full maturity, which is at 10 weeks old. And the jumbos, we've got a lot of different options on jumbos on the website, but at 10 weeks old, they'll range anywhere from about 11.75 ounces to 14 ounces, so a little bit larger, and the eggs are a little bit bigger. However, the standards are prettier and fun, and they'll lay longer, they'll be more productive, they'll lay more per year, and they're cooler looking for the most part. So it really, I mean, there's pros and cons to both, but they're all, as far as temperament goes, and as far as production goes, and as far as, weather resistant, and, what does well in the cold and what does well in the hot, all that jazz, they're all pretty much the same in that area. Which is what has been bred for, that's what we breed for years and years and years and years. A lot of our success is due to Duke University, and I don't think I'm allowed to mention the other place. But they've helped us a lot, looking to see how we breed for things that you can't necessarily see right away unless you're studying them a lot. You know what I mean? Like I don't have 30, 45 minutes a day to just stare at the cage and see which one has good temperament and which one doesn't. But the universities we've worked with came up with a program where we can kind of determine like, oh, perfect. So that's been very helpful. Let's see. Michael says, I have not raised quail yet. Would a mobile chicken tractor work to house them? I have the yeah, absolutely. In fact, I did a video. Well, I guess it was a while ago now, but yeah, when we started out, we like to go cheap and then just add on as we go. Is what we like to do here. So when we started, we had a rabbit hutch that we got on Craigslist, and we used that as the quail cage, and we used a little or it wasn't little, but a Tupperware container, a tote for the brooder and a heat lamp, and we got I don't remember what kind it was, but it was a styrofoam incubator, and that's how we started. And then we were like, okay, well, I think we'd like to have them outside, so we did a tractor, and then the outside thing was fine, but we wanted more production. You're going to get less production that way, but it is cooler and less worry and less hassle and this, that, and the other. So it didn't work for us, but it's a good idea. It wasn't for us, but I think there's many different ways to raise quail. Jason's in the house from Pennsylvania. Welcome. Glad you're here. A. Jones is in the house, checking in from the northeast tip of Ohio. Welcome. Glad you're here. Freedom's not free. Question from newbie: how many generations of inbreeding can I do before I'll start seeing problems? Also, I have some eggs ordered from you. Have you been able to shorten your lead time on the jumbo mix? Jumbo mix is down to 7 weeks, maybe. Getting close to 7 weeks. So a little bit less, yeah. But still a little far out. Not as much as the jumbo wilds, but that's our next step. So we're getting all the colors caught up, and now, we'll work on that. But I do have this week, after we butcher, I've got 300 jumbo wilds. No, 600 jumbo wilds, 300 jumbo whites. The rest of them don't go for 2 weeks. All those will be sexed out and weighed this week, and we'll be adding those to the breeding program. So we're working on it. There's just a lot of orders for jumbos. Oh, and what was the other question? Typically, the rule of thumb is 3 generations, so 3 years. So if you're just raising for yourself or for your family, and you're just producing meat and eggs, typically you go 3 years, introduce some new males or some new eggs or whatever, and you do just fine. You can go a little bit longer than that. It's not the end of the world. But that's typically the rule of thumb. Linda says some Sacramento quail raisers got together this weekend. We were wondering if the statement "quail don't carry salmonella" is true or false. There's conflicting info on the web. It does not. They do not carry that. And there is some conflicting information, but no, they do not carry salmonella, which is cool. Scott says, hey, Zach, glad to finally make your live here in South Georgia. Welcome. Glad you're here. S.O. Swanson again donated $25 to the 18 and under contest. Thank you very much for your donation. I truly appreciate it. Indiana Homestead says, is it normal for my hydrometer to show a variation inside incubator temp? Some part of the day is 99.5, then 99, then 100, and lowest I've seen is 98.8. Yeah, depending on your incubator, the best thing to do is actually wrap your incubator with a towel. And then that will help insulate it a little bit more and should stabilize your temp. Because your temp's not going, you're still in the safe zone, but if you just insulate it with the, towel, a blanket, or something like that, it'll help insulate it and stabilize the temp in there. But that would be normal with most store-bought incubators. Not all, but most. Randy's in the house. Do you have sand bass for the quail? We do not. I think it's a great idea. It does not work for us. I tried to do that at the beginning of the year, thinking it was a great thing. They love it, blah, blah, and it was a disaster for us because we're more of a production setting, and it was a disaster. So, no, they don't get those anymore. Their sand bass are the treats from the garden every week. So. But it's a great idea. It's a great idea. It just did not work for us. And again, there's many different ways to raise quail. That just didn't work for us, but sandbags are a great idea. Michael says, hi, everyone. Mike from Maple Hill, North Carolina. I'm starting to get eggs for my quail, average about 20 to 25 a day from 65 quail. It sounds like you said you were just starting to get eggs, so they're probably still kind of young. So if they are just starting to lay and they're 5, 6, 7 weeks old, that's great numbers. So good luck. If they are over 8 to 10 weeks old, let me know, Michael, and we'll try to figure out how we can get better production for you. But if they're young, then that would make sense. Scott says, I love your videos and advice for us newbies. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad we could help. That is the goal anyway. Angela says, when it comes to drinking water for quail, does regular tap water suffice or does the water need to be filtered? Regular tap water does just fine. We've got filters for the house and everything, but they get well water here. But yeah, a lot of, I don't say everybody, a lot of people just do tap water, well water, whatever, they do just fine. OP's in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Clinton is in the house from Tennessee. Welcome. Glad you're here. Family Activities is in the house from Sacramento. Welcome. Joshua Greer is in the house from Houston, Texas. Have your eggs on lockdown right now. Very cool. Best of luck to you. And obviously keep me posted. But I wish you all the best. And if you need anything, feel free to let me know. Gregory is in the house from Oklahoma. Welcome. Glad you're here. Indiana Homestead says, you guys are the channel that got me incubating my first batch of quail started this week. Awesome. Congratulations. Good luck to you, and I wish you all the best. Family Activity says, today is day 14. I'm going to remove my egg turner. This is my first time incubating quail eggs. I wasn't sure on the time for the turner, so they turn once every 8 minutes. That's a lot, but that's okay. For your next incubation, once every 2 to 3 hours is just fine. So, yeah, I would just change it to once every 2, 3 hours. You'll be just fine. Most people do 3, we do 2, but I don't think there's a big difference between that. But you should be fine with that one. But for best practice, I'd give it a little bit more time per turn. But good luck. I wish you all the best. Clinton says, how do you deal with 6-week-old hen that has diarrhea? Usually they're just going through a stage. They'll be fine. Just let them be. They're transitioning. Sage Wolf 1975 is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Jen D's. Well, let me actually go back to Clinton's question. If you see something abnormal, like a different shaped egg or a soft shell or weird, droppings or whatever the case may be, the best thing to do, and I know this is weird, the best thing to do is nothing. You don't want to do anything. Anytime you try to change anything to fix it, it makes it worse. It's like when you're painting a wall and you go, oh, I missed that, and then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, now I gotta start all over. Like when you're trimming and then you get it. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, best thing to do is not do anything at all, except for document. You want to look at it and say, okay, let's see what it is tomorrow. Okay, let's see what it is tomorrow. If it's for 3 days in a row, that's when you can start processing it and saying, okay, what could we do to help this process or whatever. But I know that a lot of people, so for example, 6 weeks old is when they're going to start laying eggs, so they're processing, body's changing, a lot of stress, this, that, and the other. That's completely normal, not a big deal. But I do know a lot of people at 6 weeks old will see that and they'll change the feed, they'll change the lighting, they'll move the quail, they'll do this, and all that stress just adds on to it and makes it worse. So just keep that in mind, that sometimes not doing anything is best. Jen D says, hello, I started my very first batch of eggs yesterday. Awesome, congratulations. Wish you all the best. Rowan is in the house. Good night. Just signing in. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Again, hit the like button, support the channel. We're quite away from our goal on our likes tonight, but if you could, just hit the like button. It is free, and it supports the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Bob D400 says, just hatch our first batch of Myshire eggs with a 75% hatch rate. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And this is only our second time, so I'm sure we made a lot of beginner mistakes. Just speaks to the high quality of your eggs. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, but it sounds like you did great. Bob D400, if you're still... writing your name. If you're still on, if you could let me know what kind you ordered and how many you ordered, that helps me with my numbers, but I will write that down for at least the overall. And, by the way, I had mentioned a couple weeks ago that we had 3 really large egg shipments that were starting to hatch. That helps a lot. But we actually had the first, it wasn't the first of the year, but it's the first since I can remember. I couldn't find the other one. I know we've had a couple before, but actually today they texted me and we got our first 100% hatch since at least a few months. So that was pretty cool. But our average for the, it was out of 25. But our average for shipped eggs for the year is now 70.38. So 75% is above the average right now, and congratulations. Let's see, Kalini says, what age do the quail begin to lay eggs? Typically between 6 to 8 weeks. They could start a little bit early, but typically it's that 6 to 8 week range. And another thing that I want to mention, if I'm not answering something clearly enough for you, please feel free to ask again or ask in a different way or follow up with that question. Sometimes I find myself explaining and I kind of forget to mention like step 1 and 2 because it's just second nature to me now. And that doesn't really help you. So I'm trying to fix that. And as you can see, the answers to your questions are quite long. But I really want people to understand the process. And I've noticed I've been keeping track of people that are emailing me, texting me, messaging me on here, whatever the case may be, as much as I can, as far as who's starting out this year, first hatch, getting ready, whatever the case may be. And it is a lot. I mean, I haven't added up, but I mean, it's a lot of people. So I'm trying to help with that. But if you have any questions and I don't answer it clearly enough, please re-ask or follow up with that because I want to make sure that you understand it. Gregory says, thanks, Zach, for the quail eggs. They just started laying their own eggs a few days ago. Awesome. Congratulations. I am waiting for the breeder cage apartment from Wynola Ranch, which is to come this week. Awesome. Congratulations. Good luck. And that's very exciting. So you'll be incubating your own eggs shortly. Miss Kitty's in the house from Utah. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Family activity. Oh, not talking to me. Charles is in the house from Tampa. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Wow, my throat. Kevin Mall says, put 60 of your golds on lockdown this morning, hoping for good results to report next week. Absolutely. I would greatly appreciate that as well. So hopefully you get 54. Let's not get greedy. 54 to hatch. I will accept that. But keep me posted. We'll make sure you're taken care of one way or the other. But good luck. And obviously keep me posted. Either text me during the week or obviously I'll be on next week as well. Kalini, 80 likes. We are up to 114. So thank you everybody for supporting the channel. I appreciate that. Gregory says, my own quail eggs are going into lockdown tomorrow. Very cool. Congratulations. A lot of people starting out with that. How far am I behind? I'm a little behind. I'd like to talk to you guys about something that's kind of on my mind and kind of get your feedback as well, but I'd like to get a little bit more caught up. I'm just giving myself a note in case we do get caught up and you guys are interested in my little rant/question. Let's see. Scott says, I really wanted to order from you guys, but your delivery just too far out. I hear you. Appreciate it, but we'll be around. So maybe later on you can get some from us then. Oh, that was really hard for me to get out. Dr. Connie says, what is a Phi? A Phi is a gene that dilutes the coloration. So like the Fab Phi, I'm pretty sure you know what the Fab Phi looks like, Dr. Connie. Is really just a wild with the Phi gene, so it changes the pattern. Or the pearl is really just a gold with the Phi gene, which changes the pattern. I actually did a video. There's a playlist on our YouTube channel called Beginners Genetics. It has genetics in the title. Intro to Genetics, I'm pretty sure is what the name of the playlist is called. And someone from Duke University has done two. I have done two, one about the Phi gene and one about the Ru gene, if you want to learn a little bit more about that. But that's on a playlist on our YouTube channel as well. Iron Man Concrete Pumping says, what age would you move your grow outs to an adult layer or breeder cage without mature birds? With mature birds. Okay, gotcha. If you're moving them, so I recommend you move them from the brooder to a cage at 3 weeks old, but they don't need to go in with mature birds. If we're moving mature birds, we do it at, typically what we do, and it changes a little bit, but there's two answers and I'm going to give you both. Technically, the rule of thumb is wait until they're 8 weeks old, is the rule of thumb. What we do is usually our quail start laying at about 6 weeks old. We let them lay for an entire week and then we'll put them in the cage because now they're kind of past the whole laying process. They're getting into rhythm and things like that. And so we want to put them in the cage then, and they're big enough to be in the mature bird. So we do on average about 7 weeks, but the rule of thumb should be 8. We just do it a little bit early because we do big amounts at one time. It's a great question. Family Activity says, I have 36 rare mixes in the baiter. Can't wait to see what I get. I only have Pharaoh D1s laying still a newbie. Well, awesome. Congratulations and best of luck to you. Witch Doctor's in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Psychic Ward 360. Welcome. Glad you're here. I need to get with you guys this week about this. That is on my list. It might actually be, well, I don't know if I'll be doing any videos this on YouTube. I will be doing the live today, and I'll be doing the live tomorrow. But as far as YouTube videos go, so I've got a chicken coop project, a rabbit hutch project, aviary, and I need to finish the emus. Those are all projects that I wanted to be done before vacation, and they're all almost done. So I'm a little behind. I need to get those projects done. We are going to get a couple more electric fences to finalize the pigs and the goat area. It's working wonderfully. And then we're starting a really massive project. George and I, and Jenna is going to be quite a bit involved. And hopefully that has to be done before Quail Con, and that is a massive project. So I think this week, now it looks like I'm back. I'm going to wait just a second. That is weird. All right, it does look like I'm back. There was some issues going on. I don't know. So I don't know if you heard all that, but I will try my very best to get to some videos because I've got a big list to do, and I think it will be very, very helpful to you all, but it has stressed me out. I got to get these projects done. Before we go any further, Amy B, thank you very much for the $20 donation. Kids are the future, and we can help them. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really do love the 18 under contest, and I'm very proud of it. And thank you for contributing. That's very generous of you. Is there a certain feed I should use for the quail? Actually, I have a feed video. If you type in, well, there's a link underneath you that Verna put in, but if you put into the YouTube search, there's a link underneath you that Verna put in, but if you put into the YouTube search bar, feed by Myshire Farm, there's going to be a couple videos that come up, but a video with a Klombach bag on the picture. If you watch that, that will give you pretty much all your information you need about feeding. Jeff says hi from Ohio. Did you say anything about live bird sales? Just wondering if I missed it. I did. We are ready to go August 1st to start shipping live quail. We will not be opening up the farm for pickups or tours until Quail Con. Technically, we could open back up on August 1st, but because Quail Con is right around the corner, pretty much everybody. I mean, we felt it, we thought it too, and they thought it as well, that it's just a little unnecessary. It's a better precaution just to wait until Quail Con. We will be opened up after Quail Con going forward, unless anything major happens. But so we'll be opening up for live bird sales starting August 1st. The farm will be opened back up for pickups and tours September 3rd and 4th. Well, there's not going to be any pickups that day. I mean, people that come can buy stuff, but I'm not going to set up a bunch of appointments that day. But after that, anyone local or driving through will be able to set up appointments, is the plan. Good question. Psycho Word 360 says, my birds are taking a beating in this heat wave in Vegas. I bet it gets real hot there. Yeah, make sure that they can have some airflow and some shade, and they should get used to it. I would add some electrolytes to the water as well. Michael says, if you bred a jumbo white with a jumbo wild type, what would you get? White, wild, and eventually tuxedo. Little Ridge Farms says 7:30. So yes, it's 7:30 p.m. on the 21st, which I believe is next Tuesday. I'll be on Little Ridge Farm YouTube channel, and we will be getting together sometime this week to get things organized and finished up. And I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm excited about that. Amanda says, does it normally take 8 to 10 weeks to receive hatching eggs from your farm? And is there any way to make sure they don't arrive on a Friday? Asking because I can't take off from work on Fridays. If you're looking for jumbos, right now we're about 8 to 10 weeks out for jumbos, 14 weeks out for jumbo wilds. And for most of the standards or colors, we're less than a week out. And then there's like Fab Fees, Golds, Autumn Ambers. I think that's it. Those three are about 2 weeks out. But everything else on the website, you can put in the notes section at checkout that, you know, if you don't want them to arrive on a Friday, because I can't. If you don't want them to arrive on a Friday, well, you could do a couple different things. One, in the notes section at checkout, you could put hold for pickup, and then the post office will actually call you, and you can pick them up from the post office, or just say, you know, please ship on a Monday or Tuesday. And then they would get there on a Wednesday or Thursday. Supposed to be anyway. La Rochelle Farm says, also, Zach, hats off to you. Trying to scale up fast is not easy to do, especially when trying to maintain certain standards. What a pain in the donkey's behind. Absolutely. That's why I say slow and steady. Somebody actually contacted me. This was probably a week or two ago. And they're like, yeah, I mean, we got to try to catch up to you. And I said, how long you been raising quail? And they said, about 5 months. And I said, you know we've been at this for like 11 or 12 years, right? Like, we didn't do this within a year. We didn't do this overnight. We've been working towards where we're at now for a long time. So yeah, moving up fast is very hard to do, especially trying to maintain standards. Because you could just get a bunch of crap, throw it in a cage, and be done. But that will cause issues, I promise. Oh, okay. I'll stop moving. I just saw that. Well, now I have to move. Hold on. Okay. I'm not going to move anymore. Let's see. Amanda says, we are newbies from Panama City, Florida. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Again, Josh's Punk Rock Garden donated $15 to the 18 and under contest. I thank you very, very much for your generosity. That will go straight to an incubator for next month's winner. So thank you very much for that. KM says, do jumbos have a far greater eating quality or simply the difference in size? You know, they eat a lot more. I actually did a video called Quail Math, I think is what it's called, Quail Math. And it actually goes into the differences on how much a standard versus a jumbo eats. Okay, maybe I'll try to move forward. Maybe this will help. Actually, hold on. Let me try this. All right, give it just a second, and that might help. Might help. Hopefully. Sorry. Let's see. I lost my spot. We did get another donation. Nikki James is in the house and donated $10 to the 18 Under contest. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Actually, Nick, if you could maybe text me this week, I did want to get with you about Quail Con. I appreciate it. Linda says, Amanda, you're not talking to me. Angelo says, other than Egyptian and wild, what other colors of quail can be sex linked? A lot. Autumn amber and gold, or fab fee and Egyptian fee, or pretty much anything that's counterpart. I actually did a video about the fee gene, and I went into that. So you can watch that. It's on the playlist Intro to Genetics. And then that's the playlist name. And then the name of the video is the fee gene. And that will go into sex links for you. How do you tell whether a quail is a male or female? There's two different ways. You can either vent sex or you can feather sex. We actually have some videos on that. And you can look those up on our channel as well. I think it's under the playlist New to Quail and What I Need to Know, I do believe. But if they're feather sexable, then you can tell male from female at 3 weeks old. If they're not feather sexable, then you would have to vent sex, and that is typically between 6 to 8 weeks. Dominic's in the house from Germany. Welcome, very cool. Glad you're here. Josh's Punk Rock Garden says, you're not talking to me. Thanks for answering my question about the winner, but my name is pronounced Kulani. I will, unless I pronounce that wrong again. Not the best pronouncer. Kulani. I feel like I'm pronouncing it right now. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see, Amanda says, I couldn't get it at all on a Friday because I work a 12-hour shift. Honestly, what I would do then is just... in the notes section at checkout, just say, please ship on a Saturday, which means they'll show up on a Monday or Tuesday. And then you don't have to worry about it at all. Because if they are late, so like if I ship out Saturday, they should get to you on Monday. Post office is usually a day late. So usually they'll get there on Tuesday. So that's Sunday, Monday, that's 3 days. If we ship on a Monday, it should get there on Wednesday. Usually it'll show up on a Thursday, which is 3 days. But if they're behind at all, it could show up late. So I would recommend asking in the notes section at checkout to have it shipped on a Saturday. Michael says, I've seen turtle races and mice races for charity events. How do you think would be the best setup and way to do a quail race? That I have no idea. You would have to train them a lot. My quail wouldn't do it. They do their own thing. Amanda says also, can you mix autumn and the golds? Yep, absolutely. That would also produce sex links for you. Thomas says, have you tried making a pharaoh tuxedo yet? Actually, we're trying to stay away from that. We do have quite a bit of them, but they go into our mix cages away from everything else because you can get pharaoh tuxedos from our white wings. So I'm trying to eliminate that and get any of those genes out. I just want the wings to be white, not the whole thing. Because if it's a pharaoh tuxedo, then it's no longer feather sexable. So I'm trying to just eliminate that right now. Richard says hello from Tennessee. Have you noticed that fuel prices goes up and quail sales go down? I mean, that's typically normal. Anytime there's a huge inflation rate, um, consumers in general, just not quail, but consumers in general typically go, ooh, um, it's high. Gas is very high. Makes me sad. Zach, were there any specific upgrades from the basics to a bit more advanced setup that you wished you would have done sooner, looking to lighten the upkeep a bit without dead end mistakes? That is a very good question. I'm trying not to move as much before La Rochelle Farm yells at me again. That's a very good idea. That's a great idea. I'll actually mark that. That would be a great video idea. I need to think about that to answer it clearly. But there's 3 or 4 that popped in my head already, like the waters and the wire. Yeah, I think that would be a great video. I'll actually bump that up to one of the top ones that I'll be doing, and I'll get that done as soon as I possibly can. I'll try to get some done this week. I did not get to it today, and today was supposed to be my day to do a couple videos, and I was still behind from being gone for a week, but I spent today getting fully caught up, so now I'm just behind on that. But I will mark that to the top of the list because that is a good idea, and I already have some ideas on what to say about it. Let's see. Write the date of live quail sales on your whiteboard in large letters. We are actually going to be, once I put the eggs in, just in case there's an issue, once I put the eggs in, we're actually going to update that on our website as well. That's really just for your guys' ears right now, until I actually put the eggs in, because we are allowed on 8.1, but if I don't put eggs in, we're not going to have any. So I want to get those in before I start doing that. I probably should. Well, too late now. I opened my mouth. Essentially, Kimberly says, darn, I forgot you were going live. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Dr. Kine says, I prefer egg yolks. My son prefers egg white, so I bought a 60 milliliter syringe. That's a quarter cup to suction out the whites. Serendipity, one of my favorite words. It's working for us. Very cool. Very innovative. Lawful Access, hello from Western Washington. Thanks for all the information. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Patty's in the house from Alabama. Bass Bottom Birds, welcome. Glad you're here. Let's see. I'm not too far behind. Lawful Access, my second batch of local eggs into lockdown yesterday. Looking forward to the jumbos I ordered. Well, congratulations and best of luck to you. And I will get your jumbos out as quickly as I can. I promise. I am getting out. Well, I get out about 700 eggs a day of just jumbo wilds, and I feel like I don't even make a dent. I will get them out as fast as I can, I promise. But good luck on your second batch, and I wish you all the best. Jasmine says, hello, fellow quail fanatics. I'm a bit late. It's in the high 90s here, so we have been doing chores and projects in small chunks today. Absolutely, I understand that. And welcome, glad you're here. Thomas says, do you have any quail or plan to get any that have the celadon gene that allows them to lay blue eggs? Actually, I didn't get rid of them all. I actually separated them all and just put them in separate cages. I'm not going to be working on that anytime soon. It's just not something I'm very interested in. Essentially, Kimberly says, do you ever sell just snowy eggs? I want to order them, but I noticed they're batched with different colors. Nope. They're only in mixes now, and I actually did put snowy males in with our SSCs this time. So you could get some snowies from the SSCs as well. this time around. Well, for the next, until November, end of November. That's when we'll change the males out. Let's see. Gail's in the house from Arizona. Welcome. Glad you're here. Patty's in the house. Mine started laying at 49 days, getting 6 eggs every day. Very cool. Congratulations. Louis says, just came back to live stream. Not sure if you responded. Do you have any plans on making? We are. We do have we are actually going to do 2 do-it-yourself incubator videos this winter. But with the summer and all of our farm projects and everything like that, we just can't stay inside and do those projects right now, especially since they're not dire for the farm, where this stuff is pretty important to get done for us. So we will be doing them, but it's going to be more of a winter. Those are going to be winter videos. Michael says, is anyone else going to watch the Tony Awards tonight? I didn't even know that was, I mean, I knew the Tony Awards was a thing, but didn't even know they were on. Amy says, this is a first 2 for teen giveaway. Pretty cool. It is not, actually. I think we've done 3 before. 2 lately. Usually it's not, but this time it was. Last month it was as well, actually. Actually, last time it was like 4 kids. 4 siblings. Witchuck says, our jumbo from Myshire. Sorry, spell check got... Oh, I guess you're not talking to me. Scott says, I would love... maybe you're not talking to me either. Has anyone ever produced a reverse tuxedo? Yes. And then we didn't use it because I did not like it at all. Like, we worked on it, and poor George, I mean, he did so much research and testing, and we finally got it, and then we both looked at it, and instantly we looked at it, and we were both like, nah. And he's like, pff. I was like, I mean, if you want to, we'll do it. And he's like, no, it's stupid. I said, okay. So we did, but we didn't like it. Kaylee's Quail Farm says, Zach, I just had my 4-month-old jumbo hens kill the male that was with them. They had been doing great up until that, and I can't figure out why they did it. It's really hard. I mean, I can give you some things to look at, but it would be really hard for me to narrow that down. I started out with 10-2 ratio, and they killed the male recently. Any ideas why this happened? Could have been a couple different things. He could have been a little too aggressive, and the hens said enough of it. Usually the hens won't kill the male, they'll just peck their eyes out, which makes me think that maybe the other male did it, and it's more of a territorial issue. So I would, number 1, check your spacing, make sure that it's 3 quail per square foot, because if they have too much space, they'll become very territorial, and the males can become very aggressive. So can the hens. So that's one thing to look at. If there was a time recently that maybe they were out of food and water, that gets them real sporadic and crazy. Those are a couple ideas. Amy B says, kids are the future and we can help them, and donated $20 to the 18 under contest. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thomas says, how do you breed for the Tibetan color? You know, we actually got in, well, we didn't get into, but we were lucky enough that we had Tibetans to work with. We didn't actually, like, the pearls and the pansy fees and the growl fees and the growl tuxedos and the white wings and the sex links and like all these we worked on, you know, and we got where we wanted to go with them. The Tibetans we actually just started with. You can, but it's a really long process. It's EB. It's a really long process. I would suggest just getting some Tibetans. They're pretty common to get and fairly inexpensive, so I would just get some. I mean, you can, but you're talking multiple generations before you do that, and then you got to breed those together to breed them true and get the other color out of it. Kind of a long process. Little Rich Farm says, thanks everybody for subbing. Looking forward to seeing your chat during the live interview with Zach and my other lives and videos as well. Absolutely. La Rochelle Farm says your sound is cutting in and out. Hopefully we fix that now. Angelo says it is possible to keep the hens in pairs, or do they need to be in groups as a way to prevent bullying? I would not recommend doing pairs. 1-to-1s or even 1-to-2s do not usually work out well. Males are very active, so I recommend 5 hens to every 1 male. Hopefully we fix the issue. Okay, good. Looks like we're still good. Excellent. Are you going to sell hatching eggs at Quail Con? We are. We are, absolutely. Yeah, we'll be shipping out. So it's a Saturday, Sunday is the event. So we will actually, usually we ship on a Saturday. So what we're going to do is actually ship what will, oh crap, it's a holiday. Well, that's okay because we couldn't have shipped on a Saturday anyway. So the last day we can ship is on Wednesday that week prior. So that means Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, you guys will be here Saturday. So we'll be collecting eggs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for Quail Con. So they'll be between 1 to 4 days old, but most likely Thursday and part of Friday will actually go into my incubator. But that would still be a lot of eggs. A lot of eggs. A lot. Essentially, Kimberly says that I freeze water bottles and throw it into the bird cages. Helps birds get through the heat. Well, in Arizona, the armpit of hell. Absolutely. It's a great idea, and I think a lot of people could take that advice. Absolutely. Barbara, hopefully we fixed that issue. I was cutting in and out. I think we fixed that, and I'm trying not to move around as much either. And I moved something on my phone. I forgot that I had something downloading that probably did not help situations. But welcome from Tennessee. And if you're still not seeing it, please let me know. Sound and picture is good here. All right, good. The Blazing Bee says, when you add electrolytes to the water, do you have to clean it out daily? The instructions on mine say to remove after a day, which is hard since I have an auto water system with 5-gallon. But we don't. We clean our water system once every 3 months. But no, we don't do that. I don't think it's necessary. Hopefully you still have sound. If you still don't have sound, please let me know, Linda. Jennifer says, do you ship jumbo quail eggs in the winter months? Yep, we ship all year long. We changed some practices here, but that doesn't change anything for you. But yeah, we ship year round. Let's see. Jason says, got to go. Take care of everyone. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Refreshing fixed it for me. Wonderful. Darn sound's acting up. Stop moving. Okay, I did do that. Don Ray B, welcome. Glad you're here. Woman of Spirit says, does anyone use a water mister for outside quail? Some people do, and they really like it. I mean, we're going to get to like 100 this week, but typically we're not that hot, and they're in a barn with plenty of fans, so we don't do it, but I think that's a great idea too. As long as they don't get too wet. You don't want to do that. And I would turn the misters off at night. Still sounds in and out. I think that was before I changed the download. Again, Nikki James donated $10 to the 18 Under contest. Thank you very much. Harlan Repurpose says, are there any shortages of crumble feed in the near future? Not that I'm aware of. I actually talked to them, let's see, it was June 4th is when I talked to the feed company. And they said for them they're fine. And they're not having any issues at all. But overall the states, a crumble is not going to be a problem. A mesh is not going to be a problem. But a lot of people, according to them, they said the pellet's going to be harder to find. But I don't really understand that because you start with the pellet and then you make it a crumble and then you make it a mesh. So I didn't really understand it. But that's what they said. I'm just trying to find you guys are talking to each other, which is fine. That's completely fine. La Rochelle Farm's funny. Robert says, I see some of your lines list different sizes for males and females at 10 weeks. Is there a general rule that males are slightly smaller than females? Yes, that is the general. No, males are usually smaller than females. Michaela Henderson says, how old are jumbo brown quail when they lay? About 6 to 8 weeks old is when they'll start laying, as long as they have about 16 to 18 hours of light a day. Got the message. I'll get a hold of it. Thank you very much. Josh's Punk Rock Garden says, Zach, did you mean to say the video on the Rue gene would have info on sex links? You said the Phi gene. Oh, my bad. Yeah, the Rue gene, not the Phi gene. I think somebody asked what the Phi gene was, and that was on my brain. Yeah, you can't use the Phi gene to get sex links. It's the Rue gene you need with sex links. So yeah, it's the Rue gene in the Intro to Genetics playlist about different ways to produce different sex links. I'm very sorry you're having issues, Mark. I'm sorry I'm having issues, I guess. Jasmine says, I am having a hard time with the video tonight. I get a few words and I have to read lips, and then sound comes back and out again. I'm really sorry. I thought we fixed it. That's really a bummer. I'll try to do some research while I'm in the barn tomorrow and see what I can do to boost this up. Sorry, everybody. Let's see. Wanderan's in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Gregory says, I think it's an internet problem as I got no video, only voice. I'm really sorry. I do like artichokes. But she has not asked me that. You guys are just telling me my internet sucks. I will work on that this week. Don Ray B says, my sound and video are perfect. Okay, great. Getting better. No, I like artichokes. I like artichoke hearts. I don't like artichokes. I like artichoke hearts. Is that what they're called? I think so. Amy says, can someone give insight? I missed what a balut is. A balut is a delicacy in Asia and surrounding areas, and it's an egg that you incubate for a specific amount of time. You take it out, and then they eat it. So it's a partially formed egg. I did a video on it. That video is in the playlist Quail for Profit, and I will actually be doing a separate video because I get a lot of questions about the process of balutes. I'll be doing a video on that on the 15th. So that video is definitely coming this week because I have to deliver them. Corey says 107 degrees today. Quail loving the frozen fruit and veggies, I'm sure. Amanda says, I think we will be getting 25 gold and 25 autumn ambers for us as beginners. Does this sound good? Yeah, that's great. They're great layers. They're feather sexable. Yeah, absolutely. You can do some cool stuff with it. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Harlan says, do 12-day incubated balut have increased nutrition? I don't know. I don't know that answer. But here's a fun fact. Did you know that once you start incubating an egg, the egg actually weighs less? I wouldn't have guessed that, but Mark from La Rochelle Farm actually did that experiment, and I said, I had no idea. Robert says, will your do-it-yourself incubator projects feature Raspberry Pi computers? No. We actually have some really good ideas we want to share, but let's see. Well, I don't know what Raspberry Pi is, so that means we're not using it because I don't know what it is. So obviously we're not using it. Let's see. Yeah, 4-H does work with Quail. Not everywhere, but it is starting to get around a lot. Jennifer says, do you ship eggs year round? We do. We change our processes during each season. So we do things a little bit different, but that really doesn't affect you guys. It's just on our end. But yeah, we ship year round. We have worked with 4-H on Quail quite a bit, actually, more than what you'd think. Have you ever tried breeding the Phi gene with the Ru gene? We have. We've done that a couple different times. So, like the Egyptian Phi is the Ru with the Phi. Those two I can't mention yet because they're not on the website. But yeah, absolutely. It's fun. Kaylee's Quail Farm says I can hardly wait until our Fab Phi eggs arrive. Now we have a new Brentia Ovation 56EX incubator and got our first 95% hatch rate on our eggs. That is awesome. Congratulations. And I wish you all the best. If you ordered Fab Phis, you should be going out end of this week, beginning of next. Amanda says, thanks so much for answering my questions. We are sure excited for starting this new adventure. Watched every video on your channel, so helpful. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'm glad we could help. It's fine now. Good. Excellent. I think it's because I messed up. I think it's because I was trying to download a video to YouTube, and I think that messed it up. But I do need to get a router in here because it's kind of far away from where the router is, or whatever it is. One of those extenders, whatever it's called. We Win is in Texas. Welcome, glad you're here. Jen says you were coming through on my end just fine. Thank you very much. I think we fixed it. Dr. Connie says personal revelation while listening to you tonight. I think I've advanced from the newbie stage 5 months doing this. That's awesome. Congratulations. What is the difference between Texas A&M and the English whites or your jumbo whites? They're all the same thing, to be honest with you. There is no such thing as Texas A&M technically, unless you actually have a certified letter from Texas A&M saying that that's their genes, but no one has that. It's not a thing anymore. So it's just, they all mean the same thing. Like jumbo wilds are the same thing as jumbo pharaohs or jumbo browns or colossal quail or meat makers. It's all the same thing. They're jumbo wilds. So jumbo whites, usually English whites. Let me rephrase that. Texas A&M and jumbo whites really mean the same thing. Okay, it means a jumbo-sized white quail. English white is usually a white that did not make weight. Restoration Creation says, hi. Any good recipes on feed mixtures to self-mill at home that jumbos like and are cheaper than store-bought? I'm not aware of any, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Marilyn Perry says, do you still have the sifting feed to reduce waste video on the... I feel like I should have done that one. I did do that one. Did I not post it? My YouTube list is not here. I know I did the video because it's like a 4-minute video, and George is like, you don't want to just add it to another video? And I was like, no, just a short video is fine. I thought I posted. Maybe I didn't post it. I will take a look. God, I hope I posted it, because if not, it's definitely deleted off my phone. That's an easy video, though. I'm pretty sure I posted it a while ago. I might not have. I thought I did. Oh, look. S. McKee's in the house from Washington. Welcome. Essentially, Kimberly says my feed store didn't have game bird feed starter and turkey starter. Is turkey starter okay at 20% protein? You really want between 25 and 30%. Typically, most turkey starters are 25 to 30%. So I would assume that that was just a typo and it's actually 30%. You can look for pheasant starter, turkey starter, broiler starter. Most of those are all 25 to 30%. Those will work just fine, preferably a crumble, but not necessary. A friend has white jumbos and get double yolks. Is that a thing that happens a lot? No, that's, I mean, any breed will lay a double yoker. Um, I wouldn't say it's a common thing, but it's not like a rare thing either. Katrina says, sorry, I buy a turkey starter for 27%. They sell two different protein percentages. So ask if they have another kind. There you go. Thank you for sharing that. And that is all the questions. I'm caught up. So I did want to talk to you guys about something. Gosh darn it. So what I've decided to do, and I'm not supposed to give a lot away. So this is just for you guys that are listening right now. And I'm not supposed to be giving this away, but I did want to get some feedback real quick, and we won't take long. But for Quail Con, okay? If you were here last year, we had one food truck, and last year was our first year. So I did the best that I could, but I didn't know what I didn't know, right? I know a lot more now. So, so with that being said, last year we had one food truck and we took an hour lunch for everybody here, and it didn't go great. They got super behind. So we are going to have multiple food trucks. I'd like to have two because they're expensive. Jenna wants to have three because she likes to just throw money in the air and let people catch it, I guess. I don't know. We'll probably do three. But with that, we're actually going to do two lunches. So with that being said, we start, there's going to be one speaker and then another and then another. We're going to have a 15-minute gap in between each one for, stretch your legs, go get a drink, use the restroom, whatever. And then from 11 to 12, we're going to split because everybody's going to be in the tent for the speakers all at one time, right? So we're literally going to split half the crowd, half the audience up into group A, and they're going to take lunch from 11 to 12 with 2 to 3 different food trucks. And then from 12 to 1, group B goes and group A comes back in. Now, we thought that was a good compromise, good idea. Then the food trucks won't get super behind, blah, blah. But that means they were going to miss one of the talks. So we planned it where I'm actually going to be talking at lunch, and I'm going to do the same speech twice. So I'm going to do from 11 to 12 for group A, or for group B, and then from 12 to 1 for group A. And I'll just repeat myself so that no one doesn't hear any of it. And if you don't want to listen to me, then you can just take a 2-hour lunch. It's fine. But we are going to be talking about a lot of stuff. So it's going to be for an hour. So most people are talking between 30 minutes and 45 minutes. I'll be actually going for about 45 minutes to an hour because it's lunchtime. But with that, we're actually going to do a couple different things. So we're going to talk about goal setting, planning, executing, business, and self-sufficiency. We're going to get your feedback. You're going to share. We're going to come up with things. We're going to pretty much, it's going to be a workshop is what I'm looking for. And at the end, we're going to do a Q&A. And we're going to kind of work together on improving each other. And so that's kind of what we're going to do. And we're going to do that for 2 hours, but everybody will just be there for an hour. And I was just wondering if that is something that you guys are interested in as far as the, it's going to be Quail for Profit and becoming more self-sufficient So, we're going to talk about goal setting and planning and executing. So, marketing, grabbing customers, increasing your business, what goals to even set. And then I'm going to get your feedback. We're going to work kind of one-on-one a little bit. So, like, for example, if somebody was in the crowd and they were comfortable enough to share, okay, well, I want to do this and this is where I'm at, then we would literally go one-on-one and everybody else would listen in, but hopefully they would gain that. And I will try to do that too with as many people that want to do it. And I will be here all day on Saturday and Sunday. So if you miss asking the question, then I'll be around. We can talk one-on-one as well. But that's kind of what we were thinking as far as the lunch goes, because that was the biggest issue last year, was the line was a mile long because they got super behind and we only had one food truck. The one food truck promised me they could do like 400 people in an hour. We only had like 300 people here. So I thought, oh, great. And then it didn't work out too great. So we're going to have multiple this year, but we're going to split them up. So if there's 400 people here, 200 go to lunch and then another 200 go to lunch, and everybody should be able to keep up and eat and relax and not rush. And so that's kind of the plan. I just wanted to get some feedback on that because that's the only thing that I'm kind of worried about. And I think it's more because I'm talking. But that's kind of the thing that I want to talk about. And if you have any feedback for me, I greatly appreciate it. We'll finish up the comments, and if anybody has any feedback, feel free to share now. But I did see a couple more come through. KG Brown says, anyone have an outdoor pen and good way to prevent snakes? Off the ground, typically 1/4 inch on all the sides. Try to kind of block, so like you can't do 1/4 inch on the bottom and they can still come through the bottom, but 1/4 inch on the sides would work fine, and you just cut little holes out for the food and water. The bottom, I've seen a lot of people do, the 1x1/2 and then the poop tray, and they actually have it's like a piece of wire that goes around where like predators can't get in, and then you just it's on a little less than idea, but I don't really have that issue, so I don't have a lot of experience with it, unfortunately. Already seen 2 snakes this week. Luckily, none in my chicken or quail pens. Curious as well how to repel them. That's somebody much more advanced for that than me would be able to answer that. I'm not too sure. That'd be a great question to ask on the Facebook groups. If somebody's still on that has a good idea, feel free to share, but I don't really have that issue here, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately for me, but unfortunately I can't help you too much. La Rochelle Farm says, Zach, what is the largest batch of chicks you've done in one brooder? I had 301 and it did not go well. Seems like 150 and under is good. The most we've done is 100 and probably 150. We try to only do 100, but we had a much better hatch rate than what I thought, so we had to put about 150 and about, I think it was 130. I don't know. 150 to 130 is the most we've put in any brooders. And we've moved them at 2 weeks old, like into separate brooders or things like that. But typically we try to do 100 in a brooder. 300 would put you in a... When we have a full brooder, then we use 2 waters and 2 sources of feed. So 300 would... you'd need a lot of... in a lot of places. Yeah, I would say 150 and under. I personally wouldn't. I like the 130 or below, and preferably I like the 100, but 150 might work for you. Juan says, I'm breeding a female Texas A&M and a male Caternix quail, and from them I got a quail that looks sort of like a brown falcon pattern. Any ideas the name of the breed? I would assume you're talking about a panda, but I would have to see it, unfortunately. I'm not too sure. Linda says, love doing the idea of the workshop. Thank you very much. Actually, I will announce now, God, I'm not supposed to. Okay, this is the last announcement I'll do before I actually do the videos. Linda Easton Waller is a marketing expert. She's got a ton of experience. I've seen her stuff. It's great. She is actually going to be here on Saturday at an expert table to help everybody that's starting with Quail for Profit or trying to increase their business with marketing ideas and things like that. We're going to set up times. We're actually going to do a video together shortly. I'm hoping to get with her either this week or next. She's been patiently waiting on me, and I got to get it done. But we did confirm that she'll do it. We just got to get a video done so you know more about it. But I'm very excited about that as well. And that's going to be a really cool workshop on Saturday as well. Robert Bush says, with a small assumption, I believe your data indicate that the Scarlets are the best for feed to egg conversion. Is that correct? Sounds right. Yes. If so, do egg producers food use Scarlets or Jumbo for size? What do egg producers for food use Scarlets or Jumbo for size? Well, if you're doing egg production, I would always recommend doing standards. Always, 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 always. If you're doing meat and eggs for you or your family, then jumbos. Or standard. Standards go fine too. But if you're doing egg production for like a business or ballots or eating eggs or anything like that, for sure standards all the way. They're going to lay more, they're going to live longer, they're going to be more productive for a longer period of time. Get your foot in the door, start getting clientele, and then you can always add jumbos, and then you have 2 different price points. Katrina says, workshop type stuff sounds good. Wondering about the style of food trucks. I'm thinking if they have pre-made plates by the time lunch rolls around, it might work smoother. They will have some, not a ton, but they'll know when lunch is and be prepared for that this year. And I'm hoping, well, no matter what, we're going to get 3 different options. So, like, there's going to be a hamburger and hot dog, and then there's going to be a Mexican, and then I don't know what the third one will be. I haven't really looked into it, but she says that I have to, so I guess we're getting 3 food trucks. Band Garcia 7Z says, come on, man. I'm still waiting on the gargantuan incubator video. I'm sorry. Winter. We didn't get to it. We had to redo the cages because the wire was falling apart. And I just can't justify spending the time doing it when it can wait. I'm sorry. I inadvertently killed a snake trying to get to my chickens because I had the blackbird mesh netting along the bottom couple feet of their fence, and it got entangled in it and died. That's kind of what I was talking about. Usually it prevents them and not kills them, but yeah. Juan says, I want outdoor cages at some point. Also, I was thinking about just doing flat bottom cages with water and feed inside to keep the birds, food, and water isolated from the wild stuff, etc. Especially after AI. It's not a bad idea. It's down the line though. Oh wow, just got my first egg from my latest hatch. Awesome, congratulations. Like, do consumers prefer jumbo eggs is what I mean. Ran out of characters. No, here's the thing. If you're trying to start your business, a lot of people try to go quick. That's fine. You're going to want it. Once you start getting customers, it's like a snowball. Like it takes off, right? Standards are always best. They're laying longer. They're more consistent. They lay more eggs. You start with that. And then when you get a clientele and you get a slow break or whatever the case may be, or you're selling all your eggs, you use some of that money and get some jumbos in. And then you get your clientele, and then in 6 months to 9 months, you've got jumbos on one side, standards on the other, and you say, hey, now I have 2 different price points for you. So that's what I would recommend, but do whatever you want. Thomas says, what is your favorite color of the variants that you have? Pansy Fees. I love the Pansy Fees. Let's see. I've had frozen fruit so far tonight, but what else cools down outdoor quail on a super hot day? Yeah, I didn't even think frozen fruit. We did frozen water bottles, so we kept 4, and we would put 2 in a cage, leave the other 2 in the freezer, and then when we would feed at night, we'd take the 2 in the freezer and switch them out, and that helps a lot too. And that is all the questions for tonight. So everybody, thank you very, very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I gave you a lot of information. There was a lot of questions tonight, which is awesome. I hope that we answered the best. I answered the best that I could, and hopefully it helped as much as I wanted it to. And we will be back on tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a rapid Q&A. It will not take this long. I'm not going to be reading all the comments. We will just be reading the questions. And we get a lot of answers, a lot of questions answered that way. I'm really hoping to get the Quail Con videos done this week so we can start discussing it. Just don't know if I'll have time, because what's most important this week is finishing those 4 projects before I lose my mind. And then once those are done, I can do a bunch of videos, and then we can start on the big project before Quail Con. And I can get weeks and weeks of videos done and just post them for the next couple of weeks. But until then, I will do my best. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Be on tomorrow night if you have any other questions. Make sure you share the information we've given you, and let everybody know that if they have questions, they can feel free to join us every Sunday and or Monday. And we will see you all tomorrow night. Thank you very, very much. And as always, everybody, stay safe.